Welcome one and all as we prepare to bring you live coverage of the Women's NPL Victoria competition, one of the marquee fixtures in every season of the Victorian Women's Top Flight. South Melbourne playing host to FC Bulleen Lions in this round 15, potentially top of the table clash. It certainly could be by the end of the 90 minutes about to play out at Lakeside Stadium. Currently, FC Bulleen Lions top of the table. South Melbourne sitting there in third, but a point, let alone a win, would see Hellas leapfrog the Essendon Royals into second place on the table. A big game in the context of the premiership race. It's a big game always because these two sides, they've met in grand finals. South Melbourne defeating FC Bulleen Lions in the 2023 grand final, a game in which, well, Bulleen maybe got some measure of revenge for earlier this year when they defeated South 3-0 in round 5, but it's a game that both sides always desperately want to win. My name is Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for joining us this afternoon on the NPL Victoria YouTube page for what is set to be a big doubleheader from Lakeside Stadium. South Melbourne's men set to take on the Oakley Cannons later this afternoon after this game's conclusion. So grab a cup of tea, grab a hot chocolate, grab your preferred beverage of choice and settle in for a massive afternoon of NPL footy from Albert Park. The two sides preparing to get underway here. It will be the host South Melbourne wearing their traditional all blue strips that will kick from right to left. At the start of this game, Bulleen wearing white with maroon shorts and white socks. Those away kits kicking from left to right in the opening half for the hosts. They'll be starting with Christina Esposito in goal, and then in front of her, Danielle Micallef, the captain, Francesca Yamano, Isabella Stewarts, Taylor Christensen, Chiara Chronopoulos, Misha Westland, Emily Roach, Letitia McKenna, Grace Rapp, and Grace Taranto. That's returning to that side that defeated Alamein 5-1 last week. And the visitors getting us underway. Erin Hudson's in goal, Leah Muldeary in front of her with Jess Young, Isabel DeHarkis, Alana Byrne, Araha Little, Mia Bullich, Caitlin O'Brien, Maya Markowski, coming off a game in which she scored 4 goals against Burundara last week. On the ball now, actually, Maya Markowski, so we'll stick with her. Ball across the face, and it's the perfect start for FC Bulleen Lions. Markowski to Jess Young. Within seconds, less than 30 had transpired here at Lakeside Stadium, and just like that, Bulleen, through Markowski to Jess Young, take an early lead. Magnificent play from Maya Markowski to beat her marker, get to the byline, whip the ball across the face of goal, and Young was there for one of the simpler finishes she will ever quite have. And just like that, hadn't even got a chance to finish reading out the lineups. Rosie Roger and Alana Cordelino, the other two players out there for FC Bulleen Lions, but Jess Young, her 3rd goal of the season, her 2nd goal in as many weeks, sees the visitors, well, stun South Melbourne with an early goal and take an early lead. Don't even think South had even touched the ball to that point. They're on the ball now. Can they immediately answer back? Perhaps. Emily Roach in there herself, who coming off a hat-trick last week. And on that far side of the pitch, it was Stewarts who was trying to keep it in. She couldn't. And, well, really, it does continue something of a trend for South Melbourne. They've been scoring a lot of goals as of late, South Melbourne. They've got 20 goals in their last 5, but they haven't kept a clean sheet in their last, 9 games. The last clean sheet coming on May 5. So they'll score a lot. Both of these sides score a lot. We'll get into those numbers in a bit. They are also liable to ship goals, as South Melbourne just demonstrated. Now it's Taylor Christensen winning a corner for her side. Leah Muldeary doing the defending. South will have a corner on this near side of the pitch, right in front of South's media man in George Koo. Got underneath that delivery. It hung in the air for a long time before Bulleen headed it away. South doing their bit to lock it in. Christensen. And eventually it's going to come back in what looks to be for a handball. Our referee today is Courtney Van Dyson. One of Victoria's best. She will be assisted by Nicoletta Sotiropoulos and Aaron McNamara. Matthew Amodio is the fourth. We're actually hit by a bit of a flash thunderstorm about 20 minutes before kickoff, but the clouds have parted and brilliant sunshine now here at Lakeside Stadium, but that rain does mean that this ball will skip along the turf. Christensen again on this near-hand side. Had Yamano asking for the ball. Instead she goes central. McKenna could retain possession. Bulleen coming up with it. Long fall forward. It's going to get past Rosie Roger before being collected by a Rapp. Rapp subsequently getting it back from Esposito before looking long and trying to play Christensen in behind who, as mentioned, the ball will move on that surface. She pulls up. Bullich coming under pressure from Mikulev, forces the turnover. Now almost coming through for Roach, who has 8 goals to her name this campaign, despite only being a mid-season addition. Now that ball bouncing through, Cordolino giving chase, just able to be poked through to Esposito. Cordolino, she's rapid. Now O'Brien, she'll be stripped of it by Christensen, seeing a lot of the ball early, the New Zealander for South Melbourne. Out to Roach on that far side. She's quickly closed down, but does enough to ensure that her side will retain possession. Araha Little doing the defending at left back. Taranto. She's going to gain some territory, setting it down the flank. Daharkis carrying it out, doing well. Switch potentially on O'Brien in a bit of space out the right flank, but she can't wrangle it in. And South will have themselves a throw-in. Ball in the hands of Francesca Yamano, one of the South Melbourne figures that spoke in the video preview produced by Football Victoria for this game, talking about how South Melbourne fancy themselves a much different side than the unit that fell to Bulleen earlier in the season. So they've gelled, come together and are really firing on all cylinders, which their goal scoring record as of late would certainly indicate. They'll need all of that goal scoring prowess to force their way back into this game. There's Muldery and O'Brien unable to combine. This near broadcast side of the pitch. Yamano sitting at central. Mikulev can't bring it down, and discretion the better part of valour on the part of Mia Bullich, who sends it out for another throw-in. See some of the South Juniors out here today playing ball kid. Mikulev knocks it down again for Yamano. Scoots it central for Roach. Rapp to Yamano. Closed down by O'Brien. Still able to look upfield and play the pass forward for Roach, who's sandwiched by multiple defenders. South can throw this ball in just inside the Lionesses' side of the park. Micallef, the intended recipient. It's not going to bounce to her, but Bulleen not exactly definitive with their attempted clearance. And while Christensen is lurking, De Harkis has to get her body in the road and marshal that one through to Erin Hudson. The Bulleen number one. She has 7 clean sheets on the season, Erin Hudson, after joining from Southern United in the off-season, where she didn't have a clean sheet with them in 2023 across her 12 starts. Bulleen attempting to apply the press, but McKenna cool in possession as she enables South to, well, break the initial pressure, albeit the passes let them down, and Muldieri's going to carry it forward. Looking for options around. Markowski, the one she picked out, set her a bit of a task against Chronopoulos, however. Ends with Chronopoulos winning her side a throw in deep on their defensive right flank. McKenna lofts it upfield, but it's sent straight back. South again, though, looking like they're going to be able to clear their lines. Christensen to Yamano. It goes back to Christensen. Looking upfield, and well, it just bounces off the back of Misha Westland, but she's going to recover. Has Micallef. Roach makes the run, it's rewarded. Roach turning, back to Micallef, thought about the shot. Cross with the left instead, the ball still in play, still in dispute. Bodies hurling everywhere, Bulleen desperately trying to scramble it clear, and eventually they will. O'Brien has her pocket picked by Yamano. Tension ratcheting up a bit for the Lionesses. South Melbourne continuing to throw themselves forward after shipping the early goal. Ball played down the flank. South just winning these 1%ers near the box at the moment. That was Westland keeping play alive. Seward's trying to turn and send it back in. McKenna in there as well, and it'll be a Bulleen throw. And Caitlin Friend on the very edge of her technical area. Their Bulleen coach just like she was instructing her defenders on proper heading technique there. Wants something, a bit of a weight behind the attempted clearances. Put your forehead through it seems to be the overarching message. Josh Georgiadis standing up in front of his bench in the South dugout. Probably somewhat satisfied with the way that his side has responded to going down inside the opening 30 seconds, albeit they will be keen to convert this pressure into goals on the score sheet sooner rather than later. Bullich sending it down the left flank, bounced off the arm of O'Brien. It will be a free kick, South Melbourne. Tisha McKenna to take it. One of a number of players with A-League women's pedigree out there. McKenna, of course, signed mid-season for South Melbourne, but couldn't make her debut at the intended time because she got a call up to the under-23s. She's since proved a difference maker since she's come back, albeit waiting for her first goal in her latest stint with South. Already contracted to Melbourne City for next season. They're going a bit of turnover as of late. Julia Grosso, Mina Ekic, Barbara and Naomi Chinema announced as departing the club midweek. Potentially more opportunities for McKenna. Maldieri hurls it in. Markowski nods it on in the direction of Roger. Not a lot of sustained possession in South's half throughout the game, Bulleen. They pretty much took the lead and then have had to do a lot of defending. Araha Little giving chase to that one, able to keep it in, and then ran into the brick wall that was Isabella Stewart's. Have to make do with a throw-in. Young waits in the penalty area, as does Markowski, and O'Brien out the back. Cordolino gets it back, trying to find an angle to get the ball in, denied, but winning herself and her side a corner in the process, and an opportunity for South to get some bodies into the box. DeHarkis coming up. She's got 3 goals to her name this season. Mia Bullich, she's got 1, and of course Markowski, 13 thus far. Second in the race for the Golden Boot. High ball sent in. Second ball up for grabs, cleared away by South. Come all the way back to Leah Maldieri. Sends it back out to the left flank. Westland comes up with it for South Melbourne. Taranto. South looking to spring defence into attack. Christensen playing it into the path of Micallef, but unable to chase that one down before it rolls out. So 15 minutes gone here at Lakeside Stadium, and the score remains 1-0-0, thanks to Jess Young's goal inside the opening 30 seconds. Christensen sends it back inside. It will be in dispute, Westland and Young. Westland wins out. Cordolino and O'Brien applying a bit of pressure to the South Melbourne back four, but they're able to weather it. Yamano now carrying it inside. She wanted Micallef. Bulleen getting in the road. Yamano forced to get back and stand up O'Brien. And just not a lot of avenues through this South Melbourne defence for Bulleen early, outside of that early line breaking run from Maya Markowski down to the byline. Taranto, round the corner from Micallef, well worked from South Melbourne, right up until Alana Byrne just gets in the road and rather simply in the end takes the ball back for Bulleen. Stewart's applying the press, forcing it inside to Bullich. Christensen's there as well. Hudson had to get rid of it in a hurry. Little central to DeHarkis. Left-footed ball forward. Has Rosie Roger times her run? She hasn't. So the play will be coming back. Aaron McNamara on this near side of the ground, the assistant. Taranto keeping it along the turf to Stewart's. Back to Taranto now, this time monstered by Markowski. South Melbourne throw in right in front of their dugout. Cordolino doing her bit to try to come up with it. Roger there as well, but it's Roach who will be fouled. South will reset back to Esposito, to Taranto. Stewards, Chronopoulos, back to Stewards. Chronopoulos, the right backs, kept running. De Harkis, though, getting across and doing well, actually keeping in play and find a teammate. But the pass bank from Cordellino left a bit to be desired. Results in the South Melbourne throw-in in a somewhat threatening position. Roach turns and sends it inside to Rapp, who keeps the ball moving. Christensen thought about giving it to Yamano, instead turns inside. Christensen, bit of space, and she's going to use it to shoot and send it wide of the post. But in the end, it looks like it did take a touch off a Bulleen player, so that will result in South's second corner of the game. Roach standing over it, has Westland in support. Oh, it looks like this one will be sent in. Westland advances into the box. In swinging corner, falls to the back post, and, wow, almost Rapp arriving to just sort of thrust kick it in. But the challenge was unable to redirect it towards goal, and it will be a Bulleen goal kick. Taken short. Isabel De Harkis sending it forward. Markowski got a chest on it. Bit of a knock in the back. Bulleen dugout wanted a free kick. Not going to get one. Harkis again with that left boot. Looking for Cordellino. Chronopoulos is there defending. Falls to Markowski. Knocked away from her, but still to Bulleen's advantage. O'Brien, he's onside. Caitlin O'Brien, not a lot of options in the middle. Could only send it into Grace Taranto. Bulleen perhaps caught flat-footed by the advantageous position O'Brien had found herself in, getting into the box. Roger poking it towards O'Brien. Yamano knocks it away. McKenna swarms, but wins it back off Byrne. Now laying it in behind. Micallef was making the run, but had Mia Butch to contend with, and the defender did enough to hold her up and allow Erin Hudson to come out and claim. Young's layoff for Lissel. To Harkis, to Young. The goal scorer goes down, winning aside a free kick. Chance, if nothing else, for Bulleen to clear their lines for a bit. And a yellow card, I think that yellow card is for Caitlin Friend. Confirmation of that one for you. Referee Courtney Van Dyson producing the first caution of the game. Markowski bringing the throw-in down, but was surrounded, and in the end that pressure sees the ball put into touch for a South Melbourne restart. Micallef just keeps the play moving, but Bullich had a bit of time to collect before Westland got in her face. Young, she loses the ball. McKenna plays it back to Taranto. Rapp. Yamano. O'Brien gets in the road. Forces Yamato to go down the touchline, and Christensen working against Muldeary, wins her side another throw in. Westlands trying to win it back off Muldeary, who just lays it off at Bullich. Sends the ball out. Christensen giving chase. Bullich got in the way with an important tackle. Tack not broken down yet though. Micallef's in there. So is Roach. Bulleen knock it clear. Roger for Bulleen. Bounces away from Cordellino. Ronopoulos claims. Nice turn from the South Melbourne right back. McKenna has it poked away from her, but straight to Westlands for South Melbourne. Played central. Rapp just gets there before O'Brien, knocking it forward. Bounces through. Yamano got a touch. Sent it to Rapp. On Seward's on the right. Araha Little came through, didn't take the ball with her. Seward's playing it inside. Westland scans before laying it off to Rapp. Christensen wants Micallef, but will just be bodied by Bullich, and that will enable Aaron Hudson to come in and claim. So again, South with an extended period of possession, but unable to break through this Bulleen defence that, coming into this game, best in the league, going against goal scored, just conceded 13. As they spring forward the opposite direction, Cordellino working against Taranto, and Taranto just getting across with that bigger frame and seeing that for a corner rather than a Cordellino opportunity. She's got 5 goals on the season, the junior Matilda. Part of that squad that under Ray Dowra's watch won the under-18 AFF Championship back in 2022. Five goals, 2 off her 7-goal haul for emerging last season, Cordellino. As this ball gets swung in towards the near post, Esposito with the punch. Bulleen will claim it again. High ball. Markowski's there, as was Rosie Roger, albeit the former much more likely to get a header. Neither could, however. And South will advance out as Muldeary in possession, just tries to loft something through. Young's going to give the cursory chase. South eventually going to clear their lines and potentially opportunity to get in behind. McKenna storming forward, a few options. Lays it off to Westlands, but it wasn't a good layoff. Araha Little getting back. Taking the ball back for Bulleen. Cordellino. Central to Markowski. 1-2 is successful, is it? No, the ball just rolling out. Bouncing throw-in will work out well for South Melbourne here. Advance towards the penalty area again through Roach. Bundled over by DeHarkis and winning her side a free kick, which is effectively a corner in that position. Assistants Nicoletta Steropoulos' flag immediately going up as soon as Roach hit the turf. Now, most South players congregating towards the edge of the penalty area. Micallef keeping Aaron Hudson company on the goal line. Westland's on the edge of the 6-yard box now as they slowly move closer to goal. Good delivery in. Christensen was lurking. defensive header just before it could reach the New Zealander. Koski getting back to help defend. Can't advance forward, but that's because she was being fouled. So Bulleen again repulsing another South foray forward. Koski's header around the corner for O'Brien. Battling fiercely with Yamano, and Yamano doing enough to win her side the throw. It's been a good battle on that flank, Yamano against O'Brien. Roach wanted to turn towards the right touchline, but had Byrne at her back. Eventually it gets over to Seward's flank. Little not going to allow her to advance unimpeded, however, putting it out for a throw-in. Just bounces away from McKenna. Markowski claims it. Out to O'Brien. Markowski left the ball behind. Allows McKenna to come up with it. Letitia McKenna surveys the scene. To Westlands. Seward's. Well, Seward's the intended recipient, but another South attack breaks down. South, though, take it right back. Now Mikulev taking it inside. Mikulev with the equaliser. Danielle Mikulev with her 9th goal of the campaign. She certainly knows where the net is. We've seen that how many times over the years. And it is the South Melbourne skipper who ties this game up in the 30th minute on the half an hour. Parity restored. It had been coming. And Mikulev with that left-footed effort. Hudson unable to keep it out, and parity restored at Lakeside Stadium. South Melbourne 1, FC Bulleen Lions 1. And now we'll see, can South provide an immediate left hook to go with that right hook, or can Bulleen answer back immediately? It's the former, attempting to do something now. Mikulev. Nice turn to take it away from Mia Bullich, who recovers very well. Throw in to Markowski. His defender right in her back, forcing her to lay it off. Muldeary, near Bullich. DeHarkis feinting to take it away from Roach. But South not letting the Bulleen back four just casually advance the play forward. But DeHarkis has done very well to spring Bulleen into South Melbourne's side of the park. Cordolino, puts Rhodopoulos on skates, I should say, Cordolino, before winning her side a corner kick. Jess Young now, opportunity for Bulleen to answer back. Jess Young was the one that put them ahead early before Mikulev equalising moments ago. Young's delivery, it's sailed over the head of Esposito, but nobody wearing white there to meet it. And instead, Bulleen will have to be content with another opportunity, this one from the opposite side of the park. Young again on corner kick duties. The runs come. Top of the 6-yard box. That one's met, cleared off the line by South Melbourne. Got numbers back. Did the hosts, and it worked out on that occasion. Esposito coming out, trying to keep that one in. Now another corner, and she's done so successfully. Now wrap. So Taranto, I should say. Micallef, central to Westland. Chronopoulos, Taranto. Christensen. So poked clear of her by O'Brien. So she'll take the throw in, just past the halfway line. Yamano had a bit of space, but her first touch let her down. Poked away by Rosie Roger, but Roach doing well to win it back for South Melbourne. Micallef. Roach is there, playing it through. Westland, the intended recipient. Bulleen scrambling it clear, and maybe chance for something in transition. Cordellino. She couldn't take it past the first defender, though. And neither side really being clean with their possession thus far in this game, but South Melbourne having a lot more of it. And that inferred pressure, that weight of territory, that weight of numbers. Continuing to give Bulleen some problems. There's Christensen now. Trying to chest it past Muldery and then storm past her, the defender having none of it. Byrne just knocks it forward. Bouncing ball headed away by Taranto before Markowski could claim it. But now Markowski in possession. Markowski just trying to knock it past Taranto, but cleaned up by the South defender, who's going to earn herself a caution for her efforts. And Maya Markowski winning her side a free kick in, well, an intriguing position this. The central location is a good one if you were thinking about a shot, but it's a long, long, long way out. So it'll be a 3-player wall for South Melbourne. I think it's Markowski and Daharkis standing over the ball. Markowski's not going to get away with stealing an extra yard. Looks like she'll defer. Markowski getting it back. 1-2. Something from the training track which absolutely did not work out. Now Micallef is going to storm forward for South Melbourne with a bit of support. Seward's playing it forward. Roach the intended recipient. But it developed very quickly, but South unable to take advantage. Bulleen set piece routine between Daharkis and Markowski, maybe just trying to bypass that 3-player wall with a 1-2. Didn't work out. And they'll look to reload potentially here. Cordellino trying to keep possession with her side in that attacking third. Doesn't come off as the ball spills out and Eventually makes its way to Esposito, sends it to Rapp. Christensen keeping it in to Francesca Yamano. Maldieri goes with her, the two wing-backs working against each other. Sliding it forward for Mikulev, but Mia Bulic getting across and seeing it out for another south corner, is it? No. That's coming off the south captain, so it'll be a goal kick. 38 minutes gone here on the scoreboard at Lakeside Stadium, and if you are just joining us, score is 1-1. Jess Young putting the visitors, you'll see Bulleen Lions ahead after less than 30 seconds before Danielle Mikulev equalising for South on the half an hour mark. McKenna now in the box, getting to the byline, has to bring it back, looking for options. Stewart's playing at central. Christensen now winding around and looking for that top corner. Would have been rather spectacular had she been able to execute. Just unable to bend it back far enough though. Going to be a goal kick instead for the Lionesses, with 6 minutes of regulation remaining per the scoreboard here in Albert Park. Christensen again going to give chase, and she's going to get there first. And it's going to go out for a corner as Maldieri just getting across to deny what looked to be a shot coming off the boot of Christensen. Swinging her body around. Taken short. Big collision there as Roach collides with Roger. And it'll be a free kick to the advantage of Roger. Determined to have gotten to that ball just before Roach did. Yeah, the Harkers jogging across to take this one. So potentially time for one of these two sides to still do something. On the balance of play, you'd probably say South Melbourne looking the more likely of the two. Certainly from open play, Esposito hasn't had to worry about too many shots being sent in on her goal. The Harkers coming under pressure from Mikulev, who's going to win the ball and play it central. Go through to Stewart's. Roach working against Alana Byrne. Has support now from Stewart's. Bounce away. Claimed by Cordelino. Little looking up. Playing the ball through for Markowski. Brings it down well. Chronopoulos applying the first round of pressure. Taranto's there as well. And Taranto working against Markowski, and Markowski doing enough in the end to at least win her side a corner. And here we go. Not long remaining. And Jess Young getting set to whip in another corner. Bulleen have had a few of these efforts. The last one from that side of the pitch, sailing over the heads of everybody, but nobody there to meet it for Bulleen. Subsequent corner cleared off the goal line by South. Ball is sent in. Christensen with the defensive header. Bit of miscommunication for Bulleen, but O'Brien eventually claiming it. Can't beat McKenna, but yet another corner coming for Bulleen. Young. Delivery. It's again going to fall. Nobody there to claim it and send it goalward. O'Brien giving chase, keeping it in. Close down by Chronopoulos. Laying it into space. Where DeHarkis was the intended recipient. Cleared away by South. Just a bit of sustained pressure for the Lionesses at the end of this first half. Can they capitalise and pretty much strike at the dawn and dusk of this opening stanza? Ball will bounce through to Micallef, who keeps play going. Westlands wanted a free kick and eventually gets one after no advantage is determined. Caution as well. McKenna, not pleased. She wasn't able to take that one quickly, albeit, as Jess Young was quick to point out, she wasn't in the correct position. Now South have an opportunity to get some numbers forward. Rapp has come up from her position at centre back, the number 20, to add to the collection of attacking options. Grace Rapp has a single goal to her name thus far in the campaign. Micallef can't nod it on. Rosie Roger coming through, and then just putting the ball into the path of Markowski, but was always going to favour McKenna. Sends it to Esposito. Back to McKenna. Into the path of Christensen. Maldieri getting up in her grill. Did well, did Maldieri, as Bulleen, well, snuff out the attack initially. They're going to have to work their way out under some fierce South pressure. Able to knock it forward to Markowski. Rapp wanted the throw in. Won't be going her way though, Bulleen's. As our fourth official, Matthew Amodio, indicates that there will be 1 minute of added time after the 45 minutes of regulars has expired here at Lakeside Stadium. Score is 1-1. One would think that unless South are able to convert on this attack, we won't see any more goals in this stanza. Pretty much as soon as Bulleen clear this one, perhaps we might see referee Courtney Van Dyson blow for half time. And that indeed was all that was written for the opening stanza here at Lakeside Stadium. And we will end proceedings after 45 minutes with a one-goal stalemate. Jess Young putting FC Bulleen Lions ahead within seconds of the opening kickoff, set up by great run and cross from Maya Markowski. South Melbourne responded and had plenty of possession and were good value for their equaliser on the half-an-hour mark through their skipper, Daniel Micallef. And that is how we would end after 45 minutes. So, big second half to come for these two sides. First and on the live ladder, seconds now on the NPL Women's Victoria table. Be sure to join us on the other side of the halftime break, about 15 minutes or so. You'll have the countdown clock for company in the meantime, but looking forward to your company in the second half. Welcome back, one and all, as we prepare to bring you live coverage of the second half of this round 15 NPL Women's Victoria clash between South Melbourne and FC Bulleen Lions. A top of the table meeting as it stands on the live ladder, with the current point that South Melbourne would glean from this 1-1 scoreline, enough to take them above the Essendon Royals and into second place on the ladder behind Bulleen. My name is Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for joining us for all the action here from Lakeside Stadium and Albert Park. If you are just tuning in, it was Jess Young who put Bulleen ahead 25 seconds into this contest, found by Maya Markowski after their towering striker made a surging run down the right and cut the ball back. However, South Melbourne responded very well, had the better of play, and were good value for their equaliser, taken on the half an hour by their skipper, Danielle Mikulev. So, all to play for here as the action gets back underway at Albert Park. These two sides with a celebrated history against each other. This is a game that they both always want to win, regardless of the circumstances surrounding it. So hopefully that augurs well for an entertaining second 45 to come, as Maya Markowski gets on the ball, sends it through to O'Brien. Roger and Cordelino waiting in the middle, but neither of them are going to be found, because Grace Taranto comes sliding across to put that one out for a corner. Jess Young getting set to take this game, the final game of the 15th round of the season. Some topsy-turvy results in the other games. I'll tell you about in a second, after Young sends this one short to Roger. Back to Young, opens up the angle a little bit before sending it high. Markowski chested it down. Burns there as well, appeals for a handball. Byrne goes down in the aftermath. Muldeary kept her feet, looking for Cordelino. It's just steered out by McKenna. Byrne down to one knee again. Maybe got the wind knocked out of her, or maybe copped a knock somewhere, limping a little bit. Keep an eye on that one for you, as Bulleen prepare to take a throw in the Markowski direction. And it will come to naught, and South Melbourne can have a goal kick. Indeed, another results around the grounds. Brunswick Juventus yesterday defeating the Bentley Greens 2-1 in a huge game in the context of the relegation scrap in this league. Box Hill defeating Alamein 4-0. Some good mid-season form on Pythagoras' part continues. FV Emerging came storming back to defeat Preston 4-2 after being down 2-0. Heidelberg defeated Calder United 3-1 to continue their push for finals football after their mid-season coaching change. It's Christensen carrying the ball in. She's going to wind up, but sends a shot straight at Erin Hudson. And then perhaps the biggest upset of the round last night, Murundara running out 5-0 victories. 5-0 victors over second-placed Essendon Royals. Correa Aquino with a hat-trick in that game. And a star performance from Rosie Curtis at the back. The Royals could have gone equal top of the league if they had won that game instead. South now with the chance to overhaul them and move into the top two. And shore up as well a position in the top four. South entering today on 29 points. Fifth placed Heidelberg now on 26. Albeit South's goal difference of plus 14, much better than the Burgers plus 4. Preston in fourth on 28 points with a goal difference of plus 12. Christensen laying it off inside for Westland. Had to be smart with it, and she was. McKenna now has time. Laying it across to Rapp. Fall to Yamano, who just gives chase, but unable to get there before it's steered out by Liam Aldieri. Will be a corner for South Melbourne. Promising position on their attacking left flank, able to get the likes of Taranto and Rapp forward. Micallef standing next to Erin Hudson. Everybody else getting into position to make their runs, which come as the ball is whipped in. Westland was there, so was Taranto. Neither able to claim it. McKenna sends it back out. Miscommunication as Rosie Roger just boots the ball clear. Cordelino's going to give chase. Yamano gets there first. And Cordelino, in laying the challenge, puts it out for a throw-in. But Bulleen can now take possession for themselves with a restart. Bench for the hosts: Sophia Varley is the backup goalkeeper, Asia Claridge, Elena Chakuti, Georgia Candilas, Kaylin Tran and Jessica Sheehan for South Melbourne. A very young bench for South. Bulleen as well, struggling with injuries and illness as of late. They've listed Emily Shields, Lourdes Gonzalez, Tiff Eliadis, Nia Sala, and Caitlin Storey and Claudia Miocic on their bench. Little gets there first and sends it to O'Brien, who lost her footing, which enabled Renopoulos to come in and claim the ball for South. Roach sends the ball into the path of Seward, who gives chase and is just able to keep it in, but in doing so, she set it up for Muldieri to take it away. Now Liam Muldieri, bit of open paddock in front of her to run into. Sends it to Markowski. Did well to keep possession, Markowski. She was forced backwards. Gets it back now to Byrne. Ball played into the path of Araha Little. Araha Little stood up by Hronopoulos. Hronopoulos did very well. Christensen takes it back for South Melbourne. Little, the wing back, sprinting to try to get back. Micallef's advanced into the space that she vacated. Micallef has a shot. Hudson gets in the road, and then DeHarkis clears it, but only as far as McKenna. Letitia McKenna shooting, didn't get a lot on it, blocked away. Second half continues here. One wonders if play might begin to just open up a little bit. Neither side have been that clean in possession thus far. 53rd minute going off the scoreboard here at Lakeside Stadium. Not a lot of joy when either of them have been able to try to spring out and transition. We'll see whether as bodies tire and spaces open up a little bit more, that changes. Bullich out to Little. O'Brien plays it off to Young. Dinks it over the top, looking for Little. Hronopoulos is there. Christensen again storming forward, and again there's space on this flank for South to operate in. Christensen. Bullich did very well there, simultaneously denying the pass to Micallef and forcing Christensen wide. Outstanding defending from the Bulleen centre-back. Markowski now. Defended by her shadow in Grace Taranto, who prevents her from moving the ball forward any further. Byrne just bodies Westland off it. Cordolino does very well to get past Yamano. Rapp comes across, ball deflects away, and it's claimed by Esposito before Rosie Roger can put a boot on it. Scored 3 times for Bulleen in 2023, did Rosie Roger. Across 13 appearances, still looking for her first in 2024. Cordolino, again trying to drive through. Augurs well for Bulleen if Cordolino can find extra space to advance into in this second stanza, but she's given the free kick away now in her efforts to win the ball back, and it looks like referee Courtney Van Dyson is maybe giving her a bit of a warning once more with something like that, and I imagine she's going into the book. Ball in dispute. Byrne just lifts it up. Cordolino's header. Eventually, Rosie Roger's going to come up with it as she picks out Taranto's pass. Taranto cleans up her own turnover, though. Now steaming forward. Grace Taranto. Young applying some pressure, but she's still able to get the pass off. Roach falls over at the top of the penalty box. No foul. DeHarkis to Markowski, back to DeHarkis. Wanted to play the ball through to O'Brien. Eventually bounces to the Bulleen number 16. Can't do anything with it. Young. Westland lays the challenge. That's intended for Christensen. Instead goes to Little. Turnover. Roach taking it away from Mia Bullich. Near the corner flag. Driving into the area. Well done from Roach. Falling over. Just losing her footing. We have had a bit of rain here at Albert Park. Bulleen survived. For how long though is Yamano? Erin Hudson with the comfortable collection, and even if she had spilt it, one imagines that the flag would have immediately gone up on Emily Roach. Cordolino now to Markowski. Sending it all the way back. That's going to enable South to spring this forward pressure that they've been applying all game. And Muldeary working against Seward. Forced to just put the ball out. Ball whipped in. Nichols was in the vicinity, but DeHark has had the clearing header. Again, no, McKenna. Just controlling the midfield for South Melbourne. Another ball floated in, but that's going to beat everybody. Go out for a goal kick. So approaching the hour mark here at Lakeside Stadium. Score remains 1-1. South continuing to ask questions of the Bulleen defence across these opening 15 minutes. Lionesses trying to spring out through Cordolino, but that ball is going to get away from her. Nice little play from Rapp as she gets it to Sewards, who sends it to Yamano. Will bounce back to South Melbourne. Sewards to Roach. Micallef, who is onside. Ball is sent in. Christensen's lurking at the back post, but she's not going to be able to get there before the ball bounces out for a goal kick. the stories of these games. South working their way into threatening positions, but outside of Micallef's effort on the half an hour mark, unable to fashion any goals and really any opportunities that would really quicken Aaron Hudson's pulse in the FC Bulleen Lions goal. As they'll come forward again. Chronopoulos giving chase to keep the Bulleen defence honest. So they'll just boot it forward, only as far as Taranto. Markowski followed the ball to defend. Big collision between her and Christensen. Play on is waved. Micallef now. Markowski in her back, sending it out for a throw-in. Throw in, but to nobody in particular. Cordolino with the header, but she's surrounded by blue shirts. Yamano knocking it forward. Stewarts was there. That's Maldiri, who sends the ball out for a throw. Switch potentially on. Taranto assesses her options before sending it into Stewarts, who knocked it down for a teammate. But the resulting shot from Roach is straight at Aaron Hudson. No little respite for Bulleen as Christensen advances in on goal, but her touch just gives Aaron Hudson the scope to come out and claim. O'Brien cleaned up, free kick. And important here for Bulleen, if nothing else, just to spend some time in south side of the pitch and a bit of time in possession. Just give their back four a bit of a breather. Mentally and physically, South doing a lot of attacking as of late. To Harkis. The American sends it forward. Markowski heads it down. Cordolino! Off the post! Markowski has remained down on the turf. And now play will be stopped. There was a big collision there. Trainer immediately called for by FC Bulleen Lions, and they've been ravaged by injury. Have the Lionesses coach Caitlin Friend's side, and the last thing they need is for Maya Markowski. 13 goals to her name, the assist today. She's second in the race for the Golden Boot. Last thing they need is for anything to happen to their talismanic forward. Markowski's 13 goals this season is the most by any Bulleen player since 2019. When Rachel Quigley with 23, Mel Camilleri with 18, and current coach Caitlin Friend with 13 scored that many. So it's been a while since Bulleen have had a player that have put them in at the rate that Markowski has this season. And she's sitting up, hopefully, indicating that she'll be able to walk off and receive treatment under her own power. Paige Zoyce here watching on crutches after she was injured against Heidelberg a few weeks ago. Unfortunately, the news not good for Paige Zoyce, facing surgery and an extended stint on the sidelines. Fortunately for Zoyce, however, avoiding the ACL. And Markowski, well, looking tender as she's coming off, but she is coming off under her own power. We'll see what Coach Caitlin Friend wants to do. She has a couple of players warming up on the sideline. Well, though, play resumes. Micallef in possession for South. Back to Taranto. Wrap as South switch the play from right to left. It's a good ball. Just got away from Yamano though. Cordellino now in possession for Bulleen. Trying to build up a head of steam. Wrap will allow no such thing. Wanted Micallef with the pass. Bullich, who's had a standout game for Bulleen, getting in the road. Markowski over on that far sideline. Looks like she has the boot off and ankle being taped. Ball lifted into the top of the box. Brought down by Westlands, but the resulting shot offline. And Bulleen will have another goal kick. Lissel. Young to Lissel. Bulleen down to 10 as they try to play out from the back. Unsuccessfully as Westlands now claiming the ball for South. Wrap to Stewarts. Byrne got a boot on it, but only as far as McKenna. Yamano has come forward from her position at left back. It's a good ball in. Roach over the crossbar. George Georgiadis in the South dugout, expressing his frustrations. That's how good of a chance that was for his side to take a 2-1 lead. And Markowski, well, looks like she's been taped up and she's putting the sock back on. Is she putting the boot back on? Maybe trying to get back out there. Hudson boots it in the Cordellino direction. Clears everybody. Through the Wrap. Taranto got rid of it just before O'Brien arrived on the scene. Chronopoulos. Cleared away by Bullich. Nobody there for South with Markowski, who was Markowski off the pitch, but she looks like she will be getting set to resume. Great to see. No major damage, it appears. The striker awaiting the all clear. Long ball forward. Cordellino's going to give chase, but Yamano will win the battle. McKenna. Stewarts. Closed down by Maldieri, and Markowski comes back out. And we had seen throughout most of the second half, certainly, it was Rosie Roger that was staying high for Bulleen as Markowski dropped a little bit deeper to get her involved in play. We'll see if that continues now that she's picked up a knock. Roach wanted Christensen. We'll have to make do with another corner for South. treatment now for a South player down on the turf, just obfuscated by a collection of South players. Believe it's Wise. Sorry, Mikulev. Knee Wise. Well, she must be all right, given that the trainer was... she was carrying the trainer's bag off for a moment. She'll have to probably watch this corner, though, from the sideline. She waits clearance to come back on. High ball in. Christensen was there, but so was DeHarkis. McKenna trying to just weave a shot through that mass of bodies, unable to do so. And it looks like Bulleen preparing at least one change. Nia Sala looks like over on that far touchline, preparing to come on. Ball goes out. We'll now see who comes on. So it will be Lourdes Gonzalez coming on for Rosie Roger. And Nia Sala coming on for Jess Young. So Gonzalez was one of 3 players on the score sheet for Bulleen in their 3-0 win over South Melbourne earlier in the campaign. The Argentinian has been battling injuries as of late, but able to come on at half-time here. The Argentine Youth International. That ball played out to the right flank, but to nobody in particular, but South able to get there first through McKenna, only to be immediately closed down by Little, who, well, was made to pay for her endeavour with a stinging shot. But one that denied South Melbourne an opportunity on goal and instead forces them to take a throw in. And they'll go in a few metres and have another go. Will Hallas. Pass coming off the shins of Phronopoulos. Bulleen throw in. Out to Westland. Wrap. Giving along the turf to Roach, who tried to turn it around for Yamano. Didn't come off. Roach's header. Stewarts couldn't bring it down. Cordolino trying to burst forward for Bulleen, knocking it forward in the Markowski direction. Beats her. O'Brien's there. She lost her footing. And that will allow South's weight of numbers to win out. Phronopoulos. It's time to figure out what she wants to do, and that's lay off a super ball to Roach, who goes for the near post, and it's deflected onto the crossbar, I believe, from Hudson. Remarkable save from the Bulleen custodian. Straight back to her feet, however, as Christensen now in possession for South. Potentially blood in the water for the hosts if they keep up the pressure. After Roach comes agonisingly close. Cordolino to Markowski. O'Brien's in the middle. That was the intended recipient of the cross, one that is instead deflected out for a corner kick. So, moments after coming ever so close to going down 2-1, Bulleen instead an opportunity to go up the other end, and what would be against the run of play, get something from this corner. Well, he's whipped into Harkis's header. He's cleared off the goal line. Another goal line clearance for South Melbourne. The American centre-back coming forward and going agonisingly close to grabbing that all-important goal for Bulleen now as she's in possession. Near Bullich, pressured by Mikulev. Kept a cool head. Little wanted Cordellino, just the outside of the boot effort. Bit too far behind the winger. Gonzalez just bundles her opponent off the ball. Markowski, Cordellino, ball in. Taranto got there, had Esposito behind her. No Bulleen plays in the vicinity. Yamano has it taken away from her by Alana Byrne. Bulleen have numbers here to use as Byrne sends it in. Markowski's there. Couldn't make contact with the header. Well, proper contact at the very minimum. Maybe a bit of energy now. Like Wolf. Let's call that a hug between Christensen and Muldeary on the halfway line before South coming forward. The rain pouring down as well. The heavens opening up at Lakeside Stadium as Bulleen clear their lines once again. Ball turnover though, straight to McKenna, although she's going to give it to Gonzalez. O'Brien unable to keep it in. And, well, we had showers, as mentioned, just about 20 minutes before kick-off here at Lakeside. And we got through, well, just about 70 or so odd minutes before it's opened up again. Well done by Muldeary. Carry it forward, play a ball into the path of Cordellino, trying to use her speed to get past Rat, which she does. Markowski, Maya Markowski, shot takes a deflection and out for a corner. Was that the moment for FC Bulleen Lions? Markowski, probably the best look on goal she has had all day, coming off the back of a 4-goal performance against Burundara last week. Unable to make that one count. Maybe that knock, maybe if she doesn't cop that knock a few moments ago, she's converting that one. Albeit, last time Bulleen had a corner, they had an Isabel DeHarker's header cleared off the goal line, so far be it from the danger passing for South Melbourne. As Cordellino gets set to deliver this one in. Sent again in the DeHarkis direction, and again a good header from the American. This time Christina Esposito collects. Mikulev, Alana Byrne keeping her company. A good tackle. George Georgiadis with his hood up, stalling his side to just quicken their pace. Free kick for a handball. Just about 10 minutes of regulation remaining here at Lakeside Stadium. As that shower proved a rather quick one, already clearing up. Wrap. Out to Yamano. Cordolino gets the ball for Bulleen, only to have it taken straight back off her. Roach. Yamano wanted Stewards. McKenna's there as well, and she collects, but can't keep clean possession. High ball over the top. Neither Westland or Gonzalez could take possession of it. Salah on it for Bulleen. Markowski's going to give chase, and, well, Esposito took a touch. Gonzalez is there. If Bulleen can get there first, but they can't. Taranto just booting it away as her keeper scrambles back. Good header from Lissel through to Byrne. Just behind Salah and not enough power on it to get it out to the left flank. Sliding challenge. Rapp sends it away. Slides away from Gonzalez. McKenna. Pressured by Byrne. And that's going to be a yellow card. One of the clearest professional shirt-pulling fouls you will ever see. Now South will have a free kick. Rapp and Taranto have stayed home, however. It's sent out to Hronopoulos, who's going to go from range. Hronopoulos off the crossbar. It just sort of floated up there. And Hudson soaring high in the air, trying to get a glove on it. Who knows whether she would have had it covered if it dipped a little bit further. For Bulleen's sake, I didn't have to find out. But Hronopoulos coming ever so close to taking the lead in spectacular fashion for South Melbourne. Ball bounced through to Roach. To Mikulev, South's goal scorer. Back central. Headed clear by Bulleen. Markowski wanted Cordolino with the header. Rapp got a boot in. And Yamano just sees it over the touchline. Markowski, first time around the corner, wanted Cordolino. Cleared away by South. Now come forward. Mikulev to Stewards. As well as Stewards. Bring it back inside. Ball sent in the Christensen direction. Knocked clear by Bulleen. Taranto storms through. Christensen. Stood up by Byrne. Sending it out to Stewards on the left. Falls to Roach in the area. Gets a shot off. But it's claimed by Hudson. South preparing to make a change. Right, Georgia Candilas preparing to come on. Had a bit of energy into that attack with just about 6 minutes of regulation remaining per the scoreboard here at Lakeside Stadium, albeit we will have a healthy bit of stoppage time after Maya Markowski's knock earlier in the game. And confirmation that it is Candilas coming on. She will replace Bella Stewards. A good shift on that left flank for South Melbourne. Ball will bounce forward, poked through by Micallef, but McKenna just unable to get there before South just hoof it away. Koski brings it down, stood up by Yamano, but the bounce favours Bulleen. Now ball in behind for Cordelino, speed to burn. O'Brien was in the middle, closed down. Markoski gets the second ball, heavy touch. And Veronopoulos just sees it out for a throw-in. And another change coming. This one for Bulleen, and that will be Maya Markoski's final contribution to this one. Caitlin Storey coming on late. She has 2 goals to her name this season, Storey. Can she add a third? We've got less than 5 minutes of regulation remaining here at Lakeside. Storey, first involvement. Couldn't claim the ball for Bulleen. Will bounce through to Harkis, pressured by Micallef. O'Brien knocks it down the flank, taking it past Veronopoulos. Veronopoulos recovers, gets the challenge in that sends it out for a throw-in. Just a bit of a heightened tension here in these final exchanges. Little's throwing. Brought down by Salah, who couldn't control it. Fresh airy from Candilas. Another throw-in for Bulleen. Little lost the ball in. No Bulleen players there. Cleared away. Instead by Rapp. It's going to come back for an offside. Taranto's ball forward. It's going to skittle everybody. Bullich sends it back to Hudson. Westlands coming through forward, forces her to send it out. 2.5 minutes of regulation remaining here at Lakeside Stadium. The score's locked at 1 goal apiece. Bulleen striking after 30 seconds through Jess Young. South responding on the half-an-hour mark through Micallef. No side's able to break through since. Is this the moment? O'Brien is there, but as was Christina Esposito, who claims it wouldn't have counted anyway. The flag was up for offside. DeHarkis. Bullich. Sending it forward for O'Brien, who lets it run. See, the players have run themselves ragged in this game, but O'Brien summons some kind of energy to keep going, as does Veronopoulos. Bulleen ball. Look at them. It's been a massive battle on this flank. Little with a throw in. Salah trying to bring it down. Back to Byrne. Near Bullich. To Harkis. Salah. Gonzalez. Through. Veronopoulos had to get there quickly. O'Brien was there as well, and it's going to last come off the Bulleen winger. In the final minute of regulation at Lakeside Stadium. South unable to work their way out. Bulleen pick it out. Storey. She knocked it forward. It's going to fall to Byrne. Poked away from her, only as far as Bullich. DeHarkis. O'Brien to Little. Byrne. Sulla. Gonzalez. Cordellino. Cordellino! Saved by Esposito. And put out for a corner. Four minutes of added time to be played here at Lakeside Stadium. And it will commence with Cordellino swinging in another corner. Twice DeHarkis has got her head onto these balls in the second half, forcing South to scramble it away. That one, not a good delivery. Well sent forward for Candilas. She can't control it. And Bulleen will have a throw in the south side of the pitch. DeHarkis, closed down by Mikulev. Bullich, Christensen was steaming forward. That'll be a free kick and a yellow card. Westland going into the book. And DeHarkis standing over this one. Chance for Bulleen to get numbers on the edge of the penalty area. And they're like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players waiting for this delivery on the edge of the area. DeHarkis gets her boot underneath it. Christensen had the height to head it away. DeHarkis taking it away, carrying it forward. The American trying to slide it through. She's kept going. DeHarkis from range. Over the bar, just. Did Esposito get a finger to it? She did. And for most of this game, Bulleen have done a lot of defending. But right now, they are finishing with something of a wet sail. They will have another corner here. We've got a second ball on the field. Got to get rid of that one. Here we go. All 11 players for South Melbourne back to defend this one. Witt did. It's a good delivery. Players fly. Last taken a touch off a Bulleen player. And South want to get this going quickly as well. They want to chase these 3 points. Well, Deary coming across to get in the way of that pass intended for Christensen. Hurled forward, only as far as Storey. Now Cordellino for Bulleen. Spills out, up for grabs. Little claims it. DeHarkis. Gonzalez. Wants O'Brien. Will take a deflection and move away from her. She'll give chase. Hronopoulos as well. Kept in by Hronopoulos. Taranto sends it upfield, only as far as Alana Byrne. She had a shot, it looks like. Takes a touch. Cordellino was arriving, but Esposito comes up with it and gets play moving quickly in the Mikulev direction. DeHarkis and Bullich both trying to head it clear. Mikulev now with a header as well. Will fall. Emily Roach in the last seconds, claimed by Hudson. A barnstorming finish to this one. Both sides hurling themselves forward. But neither Esposito or Hudson willing to be beaten. And is there time for yet more drama? Booted forward, Store's header will be the final act in this one. And somehow, perhaps, this game will end 1-1. Bulleen taking the lead after all of 25 seconds through Jess Young. Micallef with a fine left-footed finish to respond and equalise on the half-an-hour mark. And those would be the only goals. Neither side able to be separated here at Lakeside Stadium. Two sides that consider themselves to be the class of this competition. They will end this round first and second on the NPL Women's Victoria table. It is the first draw of FC Bulleen Lions season, the third of South Melbourne, who now move to 30 points. Bulleen up to 34, a 4-point buffer. But an entertaining game here at Lakeside Stadium. South next week, they will travel to take on now third place Essendon Royals on Saturday afternoon. That one a huge one. Bulleen will be at home on Saturday evening against an in-form Box Hill United. So it's all happening. Bulleen, of course, Nike FC Cup commitments coming up as well on July 17 against FV Emerging. So a lot of football on the horizon in the NPL Women's Victoria. A lot of football on the horizon in the NPL Men's Victoria. Just a few hours. South Melbourne's men will take the field against the Oatley Cannons. Make sure that you tune into that one here on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. But for now, my name has been Joe Lynch. It's been an absolute joy to have your company throughout this NPL Women's Victoria clash that has finished South Melbourne 1, FC Bulleen Lions 1. Thanks and success.